All right, so with the release of the Battles Trout, people are starting to receive them. I have my buddy Manny Chee that hates tweaking baits. So I was going to do a FaceTime walkthrough with him, and I figured I might as well record it for you guys at home, step by step of how I prefer to rig the bait. There's plenty of other rigging methods, but this will just be my preferred method.
Yo, what's up? Manny Chee here with Mike Gilbert, working class zero. We're going to get this thing rigged.
All right.
Anybody that knows me personally knows that I am best not even allowed around tools. And so this is like a huge feat that Mike Gilbert is taking on right now in even trying to walk me through this. If I can do this, anybody out there can do it.
So what you'll need in order to do this rig is you'll need 2 sets of pliers, just some cheap little pliers, some dikes, a good crimping tool like this Fox tool I got here. Has a totally different crimp style to it where it pushes it in. It has little teeth that stab into it that way. Some Gamugatsu size 1 treble hooks, size 1 decoy quad hooks for the stinger. In this specific demonstration, because I'm going to be using a bigger wire than I traditionally do, these are A3 crimps. Then a 124-pound test stainless steel leader wire. Let's start it off first, Manny.
Let me open my bait.
Okay, you got your bait out. All right. Grab a treble hook with the flat side of the hook eye pointed up. Take your dikes and go to the bottom and cut it off right where it ends the bend and starts pointing back forward. The hook point starts pointing back forward. And just cut it off. Boom! And it goes flying.
Bam!
And I hope one of my kids doesn't go and step on that.
Is this too much? Too little?
That's fine. That's perfect. Now that it's cut off, we're going to take these pliers and we're going to grab onto the hook and we're going to try and bend it back out kind of straight so that it now is pointing straight down just like that. Once you've done that, then you're going to take it and you're going to grab higher up on the shank of that hook that you cut off, and then you're going to bend it back towards the eye.
Okay.
You don't have to do a crazy amount right now. Just, kind of bend it back forward. Once you got that done.
Is that about as much as we're looking for or more?
Yep, that looks great.
Looks a little long to me. Should I cut it a little?
You can trim it off a little. You could trim it off. If you got it a little bit long, you could trim it off just like a 1/16 of an inch. This is what it should look like right now. So next thing we're going to do, you're going to grab your wire and you're going to cut off 6 inches, 8 inches, whatever you feel comfortable with.
I'm going to do 8 because I found it's easier when you're dumb to work with more of this than less of it.
So again, this is the stainless steel leader wire single strand. Now we're going to grab one of our crimp sleeves. Those right there. These are A3s just for this demonstration. A2 works. These are just slightly bigger for bigger wire.
I'm rocking the A2.
So then I'm going to take it, I'm just feeding it onto this wire. Butch Brown style, this is the same process for a Butch Brown rig straight out the gates. I'm going to feed it through the line tie at the head of the bait. And then I'm going to bend it back around and I'm going to feed that wire through the crimp. And then yeah, you want to kind of push it towards the head of the bait. Not a ton right now, just a little bit. Then you're going to grab your treble hook and you're going to feed the wire from the underside of the eye of the hook. And then you're going to take the tag end, the long end that you have that you just fed through the eye,
Yep.
and you're going to go back towards the crimp. And you're going to feed that end into the crimp. And sometimes it's going to be a little bit tight. Kind of wiggle that crimp sleeve around a little bit just so it finally kind of goes in there. And it's going to be a little bit tight as Manny's over here screaming.
Okay, I got it.
Now this is where your 2 sets of pliers come in.
Okay.
So with one set, you're going to grab the tag end on one side, and with the other set, you're going to grab the tag end that's sticking out the other side, which I wish I could actually do right now. And then you're just going to try and slowly pull it down tight.
Oh man, mine's looking really ugly right now.
It's fine. And then you're just going to keep pulling it down till it's tight.
Oh, good. I just got it down nice. Woo!
Manny's doing a great job, and I'm struggling.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Now that we have it cinched down nice and tight, we're going to take those tag ends and you're just going to bend them up. And you're doing this so that it holds that crimp sleeve in place.
I'm feeling it, man. I feel like Butch Brown right here.
It's a snapshot into the window of Butch Brown in his original rigging. So now that we have that, we're going to take that hook and we're just going to go to the top of the bait, and that shank that you cut off earlier and is now pointing down, we're just going to go and we're going to stab that into the top of the bait. And it should leave a mark in the plastic on the top of the bait. So you have our drill bit for this application, you need a 9/64 size drill bit. If you're doing the same, if you're doing the same rig on, say, a HUD that has a foam harness, you'd want to do one size down, which is a 1/8 size drill bit. And that way, the foam has a little bit of forgiveness when you're trying to force the RC antenna tube down into it. Little drill. And then our RC antenna tube right here. I'm gonna cut a little sharp point. Can you see that, Manny, how I kind of cut it at a sharper point?
I gotcha.
See that at home? And then I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna cut off, I don't know, 1.5 inches worth of the RC antenna tube.
It might be a little too small then, huh?
I don't know, no. There's wiggle room in that 1.5 inches. We're gonna take our drill and we're gonna line it up with that hole. We're gonna drill into the bait. We're gonna angle it back just a little bit. Instead of being straight in or even this way, no, you wanna make sure you're angled back so that your RC antenna tube will go in that way at a slight angle, just slight. You just wanna make sure that you stay centered on the bait.
Okay, how far in?
About 1/2 inch. And just go real nice and slow. We're not in a hurry here.
Ooh, I think I went in.
We're gonna take that RC antenna tube and we're just gonna insert it into that hole we just drilled. And you might have to feel around a little bit. Once you have that,
Oh, I got it, bro. Oh no, it's a little bit at an angle.
of course, Manny's is off a little bit. What do you mean at an angle? Like cockeyed?
It's gonna be okay, but it's like I feel it in there and it's not like dead straight.
Just for forewarning, you don't have to be super duper precise. Okay. It helps, but it's not the end of the world if you're a hair off. Just take your dikes or whatever, something that's got a little bit of heavier head, and then we're just gonna tap that tube in. We wanna make sure it's all the way down at the base of the hole you just drilled. Now we're just waiting on Manny a little bit. He's playing catch up right now.
I'm ready.
So now you're gonna go to the, as much as you can, you're gonna go to the RC antenna tube, push down on the plastic, and make sure with your other fingers, kind of move the plastic out of the way, and then you're gonna snip off the remaining RC antenna tube that was sticking out of the bait.
Wow.
That's gonna kind of pinch the RC antenna tube a little bit. So what you're gonna wanna do,
Next level, baby.
what you're gonna wanna do now is just take those dikes and just kind of grab the top of that RC antenna tube that's sticking out, that's looking pinched. Grab it on the opposite sides and squeeze it so it's round again. All right, so now take your hook and put it in that hole.
Okay, I see why you didn't crimp it now.
Now you see why I didn't crimp it, is because you need to have a little bit of room. You need to be able to pull those wires down tight still. This is where we're going to finish pulling down the remaining tag end wires, and then I'm really gonna try and cinch this thing down. I wanna get any extra play out of it. And then again, I'm gonna bend those back up to keep them in place. And remember, part of that deal is you need to make sure your hook is planted in the hole at the time of you pulling out that remaining slack. Once you've done that though, grab your crimps, get in there, and crimp away.
So now we're trying to crimp with it still in the hole?
No, you remove the hook, you pull it out, and crimp it, because you bent those wires so that it wouldn't be able to slide again. You can sit here and tweak the wires back and forth and eventually they'll pop off, or you can come over here, just grab your dikes and snip them off. There goes one.
Oh God, bro! Woo-hoo-hoo! Dude, this is how you had them so tight.
Sometimes you'll do it and it's a little loose, just how mine is. Mine's a little loose right now. What you're gonna wanna do, and this is the adjustment stuff, you could do it out in the water, it's super simple. You just grab some pliers, go to that bottom shank that you had cut off, and just bend it either towards the head of the bait or away, depending on if it's too loose or if it's too tight. So in my case, this was too loose, so now I'm just taking that and I'm just bending it towards the head of the bait just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. I'm gonna grab the back, I'm gonna put my thumb behind that tube, and I'm gonna pull, and I'm going to insert. And I push it on down in there. And that's pretty much it right there. This one might still be a little loose. Yep, see, it's still a little loose. I'm gonna, again, take my pliers, grab that, and I'm gonna bend towards the head of the bait again. Yours is super tight, and I'm over here. This is how you do it.
Unbelievable right here, dude.
Oh yeah, yours is nailing it. So mine should be there now. Yeah. You want it so it's like firm enough that you can grab the hook and you can hold on to the hook and it's not going to pop out, but with just a little extra force, it will pop out. So now that part's done. That's the hardest part of it. After that, it's just a standard stinger hook rig in my opinion. You can either do it crimps, you can do that haywire twist, you know, pick your poison. I'll go through it real quick demonstration of it. Real simple though.
Let's do it. I already got this one down.
I had an epiphany the other day when I was rigging one of these up that I haven't had in 5 years, which is absolutely crazy. I've been doing it for long enough and then finally went, wait, a light bulb went off in my head. It's ridiculous, Manny. It's so simple. So the entire time I was always putting the wire through with the crimp on it, crimping it down, and then going over, putting the other crimp on, and then trying to cinch it down to the exact, like, oh, is that in the right length or not? After doing it for years and messing up time and time, sometimes it's too long, sometimes it's too short, I found it's just as simple to look at my bait, take my wire, come over with some of the needle nose ones, bend it where I want it.
But that's not like messing up or kinking the wire or...
I have these little jewelry ones that are even better. They do round bends. You grab your sleeve, you slide it on, grab your second sleeve, slide it on. So you should have 2 sleeves on. And then I'm gonna go back and you have to imagine, okay, where's the next bend? Where's the hook going to be? Grab my decoy quad hook and I'm gonna line that up where I want it to sit on the bait. So I want mine to kind of hover right back here. I don't want it too far back because then you get the tail bending and catching on it. I want it sitting right in here so it's as stealthy as possible with a stinger hook. Measure it out, like, okay, that's where the bend needs to be. Come along, and I'm going to make my other bend. That simple. Boom. Second bend. Now, I know that that hook is gonna be exactly where I want it to be. You can see how it kind of looks. Seems pretty straightforward, but somehow it took me a long time to figure that out. Now I just need to take those crimps and I just need to feed the tag ends into each crimp. So just take that. Now I'm just gonna crimp it down. Bang, there's 1. Bang, there's 2. And just grab those tag ends, bend them out. Take your pliers if you want to, or take your dikes, just get in there, cut it off. And then there are several different ways that you can run the pin that holds the stinger down. I typically take some leftover wire, grab some pliers, kind of line it up. I know the typical width of that shank right there on that hook, and then I just bend it over, come on over to the hook, stick it in at first, pull the hook up. Then just to make sure you're really lined up, go in there, and then I stab it on down in. And that's pretty much it right there. Nice solid rig. You can do this method on any bait that has some sort of internal harness, whether it's foam, it's resin. You can drill that hole in, you can put the RC antenna tube in, Butch Brown rig style, just with a little modification, and it works. It's definitely saved me a bunch of baits, a bunch of plastic. I'm sure it will save a ton of other people.
I love this, dude.
You're gonna be able to remember it? Once you get good at it, it can take you 5 minutes.
There's some critical steps there that I can tell took you like a lot of mess ups to get figured out.
Yeah, lots of mess ups happened in order to figure out the actual process and how to do it. Like, it is a step-by-step process in order to do it right. But anyways, there you have it. Follow at Working Class Zero. Follow at Manny Chee, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook for more bait information, big fish, trophy hunting, guide services on the Manny Chee front. And good luck out there.
Attaboy, my game.